All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Workforce Wednesday. It is January the 21st. So glad you guys are joining us this evening. Tonight, we have a very special guest. We have Christina Hill, owner, CEO, founder, all the things of AMADA Senior Care. So we are super excited to have her. I'm going to read in her bio and then I'm going to pass the floor over to Christina. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much. All right. So Christina Hill is an active member of the sandwich generation. Christina balances caregiving for her grandmother, who lives with vascular dementia after two massive strokes, while raising two spirited young children in Lee Summit. Her personal caregiving journey shaped her professional pivot, leaving corporate America behind. She launched AMADA Senior Care Overland Park, where she now serves as owner and CEO, helping families navigate aging with compassion, dignity, and support. As a result of her devotion to improving life for struggling families, Christina also serves as an active board member for the nonprofit Sandwich Family Caregivers of KC, bolstering support for caregivers through a blend of strategic insight, lived experience, and deep community roots. Simply put, Christina is passionate about building support of systems that empowers caregivers, uplift families, and reflect the diverse fabric of Kansas City. Christina, you are so much more than all the things you have listed. You are sister, you are friend, you are a CEO and owner, you are wife to be, you are just a Jill of all trades. And so we're just super excited that you are here with us. And so I don't know if y'all noticed how cool it is, but her initials are Chill. So if I refer to her as Chill, you know why. And she is the most chill, non-chill person I've ever met. And I've had the pleasure of knowing her well, almost a 20 piece probably by now. We're creeping up there. So the floor is yours, man. We are here to learn and glean all that we can from you. So go ahead and drop them gems, sis. I'll flag you at about 5:55 for just a quick wrap up, but the floor is yours. Thank you again so much for joining us this evening.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for having me. It truly is an honor to be able to share what we're doing and what I think is something that's really important and um, not being talked about enough in terms of industry and things that are impacting our country that we all know about, but nobody's talking about it. So, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share. And a 20 piece, man, I can't I am so blessed to have professionals and friends like you in my life. So thank you. I will I am so glad to share Amada Senior Care. So, Amada is the Spanish word for beloved for all of you that took Spanish in high school. Could also be translated as loved one. And it actually is a franchise organization. So, the founders are Taffa Jefferson and Chad Fotheringham, two ex-football players, the biggest, burliest guys you can think of, that Taffa became a CNA when he finished his NFL career. And this is where his passion was. His mother was a caregiver all of his life. So it was something that he grew up seeing. It was lived experience for him. And when my time in corporate America came to an end, it just totally made sense. And our stories really aligned, being a caregiver since I was the age of 13 years old myself. And then that's something that we often find in communities of color, that we are caring for loved ones, that we're cross-generationally caring for loved ones, and we want to keep them at home. So I won't steal too much of the thunder for the slides that we have here, but a booming industry making a difference one senior at a time. And I put booming in air quotes. No, not necessarily air quotes, in quotations. And if someone wants to drop it in the chat, what they think that is in reference to, it needs to let me know what some of the answers are, and I'll let you know if anybody nails it on what that actually is referring to in the senior generation. And let's see if we can advance the slides. So I'm gonna click next there. So a few industry, did we get any answers yet?
Uh, does booming mean just an uptick in the number of in the aging population?
That's a really good answer, and we will definitely talk about that. That's part of the industry insights that we're going to cover, but it really is a reference to the boomer
Oh,
generation.
that's what they said. Baby boomers. They dropped it in the
Baby
chat.
boomers, yes.
All
Well
right,
done.
y'all. Come on, Smarties.
Yes. Uh, Bonus points if you guys know some of the generations before them, if anybody knows what they're called, because there are still a few of them hanging around, and you can roll them into this conversation as well. So first up, first insight, the boomers. The United States is a rapidly aging population. There are 10,000 people turning 65 years old every single day. And this year in particular, boomers are turning 80 years old. My grandmother, she was born in 1945 and she celebrated her 80th birthday in December. So we're getting old and we are at a point in our country where our senior citizens outnumber the youth. So by the year 2034, there will be um there will be the seniors will outweigh people 18 and younger. And just sit in that for a minute, right? And do I don't think we have the infrastructure in our country to support that, to support all of the services that are needed for people that are aging. Most people don't have the luxury of aging healthy or aging well. Uh, Most of the time, aging comes with complications and pre-existing conditions and chronic illnesses. And that kind of leads into the next insight. Uh, as our population is aging, they want to age in place. They don't want to go to senior living. They don't want to go to a nursing home. Senior living in 2026 is not senior living from 20 years ago. And that's what they have in their mind. So they hear senior living and they automatically hear a hole in the wall nursing home, where they're being fed porridge and it feels and looks like a prison or a psychiatric asylum. And those days are gone. A lot of these senior living places are so nice. I want to live in them. They are resort style, really beautiful, and they come with a hefty price tag as well. So that's one of the challenges that faces people. Um, so overwhelmingly, people want to age in place that are a part of this aging population. They want to stay at home. They've been in that home for 40 years. It's what they know. Um, and what we do help support that. We help people age in place safely and stay where they want, are most comfortable, and save a little bit of money. Um, if I welcome you guys to guess what you think assisted living costs these days. And we're going to use the numbers from where we are here in the Kansas City Metro. Shout outs to the Chiefs, even though they didn't make it to the playoffs this year. That's okay. Every dog has its day. um, so, next insight, caregivers. So, there are two types of caregivers in our industry. There's a familial caregiver that is probably part of the sandwich generation, like myself. So, a family member taking care of a loved one. They may be juggling a job, they may be smushed between wife duties, husband duties. Um, they may be parents, so trying to juggle children, taking care of a loved one, and a job. That is quintessential sandwich generation being smushed in between all of those competing responsibilities. And I can tell you, without professional help and self-care and therapy, you're going to do all of them poorly. So, if you yourself are a caregiver, if we have any participants on the call that are caregivers for family members, I hope that you are getting all the resources that you can to make sure you take care of you. Oftentimes, caregivers they end up sick and having complications while they are taking care of the loved one. So, second caregiver is a professional caregiver, which we employ in our organization. And those are caregivers that get paid. So, a familial caregiver, they are typically unpaid and it's in the millions of dollars. There are studies that are starting to be done to kind of calculate the amount of unpaid work that familial caregivers are doing, and it's in the triple digit millions of dollars. So the last part is talking about the money, right? It's not a big industry if there isn't big dollars behind it. And the senior care industry is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, growing industry in our country right now. So in 2023, $455 million, and we're projected to hit $650 million. And when I say we, I don't mean Christina and AMADA Senior Care is doing $650 million today. We're going to get there. Um, so, booming industry. Globally, the projections by 2029 is $40 billion, if I remember. So, big industry. We're going to keep it moving here. So, caregiver duties, what does that look like? Caregiver is an entry level position in our organization. And not only is it an an entry level position, it is the most important position in my business. It is more important than the CEO, more important than the owner. It is more important than the client. So this business does not work if you do not have caregivers. If you don't have people that are willing to provide care, compassionate care, patient care, those are some of the soft skills that we look for when we are interviewing candidates, in addition to what other skills or transferable skills that they may have from their resume. So, personal care, toileting assistance, meal preparation, medication reminders. So, and a lot of this is like, well, what does that really look like day to day? So, meal preparation, that may look like getting Miss Johnson her coffee the way she likes it, helping her get up and get out of bed in the morning, get dressed, maybe stand by in the shower, hand her towel, hand her the shampoo. If she just needs a little bit of assistance, there are varying levels to it, and medication reminders. So we are a non-medical caregiving company. There are companies that do provide medical levels. So I would say that this is the intermediary. So we stand in the gap to provide improved outcomes for seniors that may be rehabilitating from a hospital stay. Our services help layer, we're the secret sauce in addition to the physical therapy and the occupational therapy that may be coming in as well. Um, so med reminders, we don't actually dispense medication, but we can take the lid off for you and put it on the table and make sure you're taking the right number that you're supposed to take in. We can do everything except physically hand the medication to you. Companionship. So companionship, that is a really large one and often overlooked when it comes to seniors. So isolation and loneliness is a silent killer, in to be frank, in the senior care community. We really don't talk enough about how socialization or lack thereof leads to other health complications, other mental health challenges. Um, and we do see higher numbers of end of life for seniors, largely due to social lack of socialization. We'll say that 5 times fast. All right. So what does training look like in terms of being a caregiver? Great news. You don't have to have experience. You don't have to have a certification. You don't have to have any particular degree or anything like that. So you can come in, boots off the ground, and we will teach you everything. So we do lots of hours and paid training. And in our organization, we believe in personal development. So if you have a goal of being a CNA one day or being a nurse one day, then we will help facilitate those means to allow you to do that. So we may help you with the application fee, or help you recertify your license. We'll pay for that. So we definitely invest in the goals of our team, and that's one of the parts of building a really great culture. All right, so other entry level positions outside of the most important one, caregiver, is office assistant and scheduler and care coordinator. So when you are a startup franchise like we are, we're still kind of in our infancy. We're wearing multiple hats. So in addition to our caregiving team, right now we have a team of 10 caregivers, and we're recruiting every week to build that. And myself and my office assistant, we are wearing many hats. So as the CEO, I not only wear the owner and CEO hat, but I also wear the sales and marketing hat, and the finance and payroll hat, and the recruiting hat. And our office assistant, she's kind of helping with the HR and scheduling. So the scheduler, this is a great entry level position in terms of facilitating and being able to communicate really well between a lot different parties, attention to detail. So all of these entry level positions have great transferable skills as you progress in your career journey. And I think that's our next slide. So where do these positions go? So career pathways that you can advance to, and these are real caregivers in my organization, by the way. So the previous slide, that was Melody Grubbs. And this is Chloe Hanshoe. Fun fact about Chloe, she has a twin sister. I'm out here telling her business to random people, but she's okayed it. She's giving me the green light. So career pathways, going back to that, you can see here on the screen, there are lots of other pathways that you can go to. Client success manager, so managing a team of care coordinators that are all they kind of function like account managers, right? So they have 5 or 6 cases for clients, and they're responsible for checking in on them every 30, 60, 90 days, or making sure all of the care notes are in place and detailed and accurate. Finance, so a finance that could break down into payroll department, accounts receivable, meaning let's get paid for our services, and accounts payable, let's make sure we pay our bills. So all of that kind of falls under finance. And director of operations, we definitely are building to a point where we will have a director of operations, and a lot of these types of roles would report under director of operations. So great in terms of organizational efficiency. Uh, Poor organizational efficiency is where you see a lot of profit lost in in waste. So we'll keep it moving there. what you can expect in terms of things that might be challenging in this career pathway or this industry or this particular role, speaking from a caregiver perspective, and things that are rewarding in general. So, some of the challenges to working in this field and being a caregiver is that you have emotional moments with your clients. So, depending on what you have going on in your life, you have to learn how to compartmentalize that and step into a client's home with a smile on your face, ready to make their day a little bit better, especially if it's a situation where cognitive decline or there's a memory care issue. You want to make sure that you are on your P's and Q's for that particular person to help them navigate their day. Um, there are huge similarities um, to the aging process, and then going all the way back to the beginning to, when you're in your toddler phase and you're learning these things, especially when memory care is involved. So a lot of those same tactics, um, the approach that you would take when you are gently um, trying to calm a toddler down from gentle parenting. That's a new concept with the millennial generation, but it definitely rings true and is transferable to senior care in many ways. So you really have to be patient. You have to, use different tactics to redirect. And it's when memory care is concerned, it's really not redirecting. You need to live in their world. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. So I won't squirrel down that rabbit hole. But burnout. So we try to create some variety. So uh, if you are in a memory care issue where a person has severe dementia, it can be taxing to mentally have to continue to reassure, especially if the person is paranoid or they're afraid or something like that. So it can be taxing mentally in that respect. And physically, if you're having to help people physically get in the shower and use mobile assist or transferring assist to get client from one place to the other, it can be physically taxing as well. So problem solving, that goes back to a lot of the memory care things. So if you notice that a client is at a certain time of the day, they call it sundowning, but if uh, something is different, you have to figure out what triggered your client and how you can fix it, so that you can continue and maybe not avoid that, and maybe avoid that landmine next time. Safety. So, making sure that caregiver is safe, making sure client is safe. So I personally go into every home that I send my caregiver into, and I check out the surroundings. I ask who's coming in and out. Are there cameras? All the things. Because going into someone's home, this is 2026. There are some weird people out there. Just gonna be honest about that. So that's always top of mind. And clients transition. So this is probably one of the hardest things. And when I started talking to potential clients, I immediately fall in love with them. And one day I was driving in my car back from a client visit, and it just hit me out of the blue that, oh my gosh, Mr. and Miss Brown, they are going to transition. They're going to go home to glory. They're not going to be here anymore. And I met them one time and I'm already in love with them. So that is one of the things that working in this field, you have to be able to manage. And again, that's where you utilizing your resources, sitting on somebody's couch or on somebody's Zoom, to talk about those things and find ways to navigate through that. We've talked about a lot about cognitive decline, staffing shortages. So that does create a challenge and kind of feeds into some of these other ones like burnout and safety. So staffing shortages, that is systemic right now in the senior care industry and beyond the senior care industry, I would say healthcare in general. For some reason, healthcare, it isn't, um, I'm not sure the word that I want to say, but it's not a desirable place to be like it once was. Uh, in generations past, you had a really good job if you were a lawyer, a doctor, or engineer, or if you were just in that hemisphere, right? But the world is different now, and people aspire to be athletes and social media influencers and all of the things. So all of that is, playing a role into staffing shortages in the healthcare industry. So, some of the amazing things about working in the senior care industry, relationship based. So, if you are a chatty patty like me and you make a friend in any room that you go into, this is an excellent organization or excellent industry for you. Um, Especially if you love listening to old stories and you have the patience to sit there and hear the same story for the 527th time from a senior. We've all been there.
Amen.
Um, Yes, that's what we mean by relationship based. Flexible schedules. So, uh, we have all types of different shifts that are available based on our clients' needs. So it could be a 2 hour shift, 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. We even have 24-hour care. We would break that up into like 3 or 4 shifts, with caregivers rotating through, but lots of flexibility. You're doing impactful work. You're doing work that matters. You're touching someone's life. You're touching a family's life and providing relief, peace of mind, and safety to someone's life. Foundational work. So, what I mean by this is a good foundation for anywhere that you want to go in healthcare. So, if you want to be a nurse or a doctor or a PA, or have a healthcare administration or anything like that, it's excellent foundation. We've talked about personal development already. Adaptive mindset, so that ties into the problem solving. You will get really good at coming up with solutions to things, and adapting quickly to your surroundings. Sometimes you have to think really fast and act fast to keep someone safe. Transferable skills, so we've touched on that a little bit, and training and advancement. Mission-centered work, that kind of ties back to impactful, but I like to take the opportunity here and say that, as a business owner, you get to decide what the culture is, the tone is, the mission is for your organization. And for my organization, caregiving is a ministry of love. So we are glad that we get to talk about, those types of things, and we get to pray for people and pray for their situation and all of those types of things. So,
Christina,
yeah.
oh, nope, no, I thought you were finishing a.
Oh yeah, almost finished.
Okay, go ahead.
We're on 8 of 10. So this work matters, because it is full of meaningful careers. So it's not just booming in the non-medical home care. I'm sorry. This industry isn't just booming. Non-medical home care sits at the center of its growth. And what I mean by that, I kind of talked about us being the secret sauce with home health and physical therapy and occupational therapy. People want to stay at home. 90% of seniors say that they want to stay in their home and not transition to senior living. And that's what puts us at the center of the senior care industry. We're helping people be able to do that. So, this is how you can reach me and find out more information about our organization. So, AMADA Overland Park, and you can find us on our socials on Facebook and LinkedIn. Feel free to find me on LinkedIn as well. I'm more than happy to answer questions or point you in the right direction if you need resources. Um, and that is all. I'll toss it back to you, Anissa, if there are any questions in the chat.
Christina Hill, that is phenomenal. As you were speaking, it reminded me of something that I heard. It's a proverb. They say it's called, it says, once an adult, twice a child. Right. And so
Mm,
just meaning like it comes right back. Right. So as you were kind of talking about when you're younger and your parents are having to kind of raise you and rear you up, and then you have this adult life, and then you're kind of right back in the same cycle. Now your children or your caregivers or whomever, if they're, care providers is stepping in and kind of helping them with a lot of those, activities of daily life and, all of those things. But what I really love about what you said is that there are so many entry level positions. You don't necessarily have to have a certification or experience, but you can get with an organization like AMADA who will train you, who will invest the time, the finances to get you developed. It is a booming career path. Anything in geriatric care, even if it's something that you think you might want, like she said, a 2 hour shift, a 4 hour shift, a 6 hour shift, however that might look. But we're all aging, right? Like minute by minute, we're all aging. And if you are fortunate enough, if you're blessed enough to even see 80, 90, 100 years old, you're going to need care. And so if this is something that kind of piques your interest, please connect with Christina. I'll send her information out again in our follow-up emails. But consider senior care as a career path. It's an amazing career path. You did have a lot of folks in the chat who could kind of testify to being their parent's caregiver or having some sort of care experience. And so we're just super, super grateful that you took your evening away from your family and wrapping up dinner and your business to be here with us. And so thank you again so, 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 so much. And we look forward to touching base with you. And if we have any questions, we were going to send them your way. Are there any last minute comments? I didn't want to cut anybody off. Are there any last minute comments or questions for Christina before we wrap our night?
I just want to say kudos to you. I be my story is so similar. I definitely would love to jump on a Zoom soon. I retired from corporate at 35. I made my homemade retirement, go to Hollywood, become a superstar, and then my mother got sick with dementia and cancer, and I became a full-time caregiver. And sis, I wasn't qualified, okay? And I had to play every role. So, but
Mhm.
now I help people plan and get the financial resources so they don't have to depend on their children. So I also have some other resources I might can send your way. So I would love to schedule a Zoom for next week. I'll get your information from Anissa, if you don't mind.
yes, absolutely. I welcome that all day and twice on Sunday.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. We be at church on Sunday, but before 9 o'clock service, I'm good. You know what I mean? You on the
I
other
do.
time schedule so we can make it happen. Okay. So, but thank you so
Yes.
much because myself and Ebony, we both can relate so much to this story. We were actually putting messages in the chat. So thank you for putting in the work, the good work. This is definitely the good fight. So thank you so much for being a superhero.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so
I
much.
love that. She
Yeah.
is a superhero. Well, Christina, chill. We love you. And we look forward to having you again as our guest. We would love to hear 6 months down the line, a year from now, what that looks like. And so, if all hearts and minds are clear, okay, Christina is a true Southern Belle. She knows what that means. Then we are going
Yeah.
to call it a good night. Be with your families. Be safe. Stay warm. It's cold in California. You guys have a great night.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.